Hello everyone, welcome to ETRealty. I am your host Ankit Sharma, and today we are here to interview Mr. Ranjeet Oak, Managing Director, Kohler. Welcome, Mr. Oak.
Hello.
All right, so I will start with the basic. How do you see the sanitaryware industry in India? In the last 2 years, there has been a stark change in how the real estate industry was moving, and this has impacted all the allied industries, including the sanitaryware industry as well. Lot of luxury real estate projects are coming up. This has been because of the lot of demand and lot of other things that has impacted this. How has this impacted your industry, your companies, your company, and what are you looking at?
Yeah, sure. So in India, Ankit, there are about 300 million houses. And within that, the target houses that we look at are the premium end houses. We've seen that the building materials industry and overall housing industry is growing at about 7.5% CAGR. And we are expecting that that is a growth that we'll see till 2030 at least. The good part is that the premium housing is growing much faster than that. And I think for us at Kohler, we participate in making sure that we're building out gracious homes. And so that is the industry that we operate in. The good part we've seen from an India context point of view is that we've been growing very well ahead of the industry. Our benchmark always is to beat the industry at least by a 2x multiple. Those are the kind of growths that we've seen up until now. We are very bullish that that is the direction that we are going to go in. I think the interesting part is also that the consumers are changing. The way they are experiencing the categories that we operate in are very different from what it was before. Especially after COVID, we've seen consumers starting to interact with the products a lot more, with a lot more involvement than what they were doing before. And that makes it much better for us because our product range that is there in the market makes sure that the consumer experience is at a very, very different level, especially in the categories that we operate. So it's a great overall trend for Kohler in India.
Especially post-COVID, what has happened is suddenly most of the buyers are going in the premium or luxury segment.
That's right.
This may be because of there are varied reports on this. So this may be because that their buying capacity has increased.
That's right.
Or is it also it is also because of the cost of construction has also increased, which has made builders to construct such properties which are in the premium and luxury segment.
Right.
Do you see this kind of change in your industry as well, where the people are buying the premium products has suddenly increased, the demand from them has suddenly increased, and what is your take from the builder's perspective, the cost of raw material that has increased?
Yeah. So I think both the factors that you talked about are absolutely bang on, and this is one of the reasons why you are seeing overall launch of a lot more premium categories coming up. But the interesting one for us is that the consumers are looking for these homes. And I think the interaction with the home has changed. All of us were locked up in our homes for like close to a year and a half or 2 years. And so the investment behind how I want to interact with the space within my house has now completely changed. I want my bathroom to be a 5-star bathroom, right? Because that's where I spend my last 3 vacations. And so for me, that becomes important as a consumer. And so it's become a good cycle of developers coming up with high quality product, and all our stakeholders, whether it is the architect, designer community, or even our developer partners, are ensuring that they are providing quality product for the consumers. At the same time, the consumer has also to step up and say, I want this particular level of quality or level of innovation in this particular space. And so that particular cycle has picked up very well for us.
Do you see a change in the kind of things that buyers were looking for? For instance, most of the projects that were coming before were smaller.
Right.
Most of the projects that were coming up had very small space for bathroom or other utilities. But post-COVID, what changed was that most of the apartments or projects that started coming up started giving larger spaces, separate storeroom and other spaces, so that because people were working from home, so they needed larger spaces. So this gave people, this gave builders that insight that they can create such larger spaces, and buyers are ready to buy. Do you see this kind of demand for larger, let's say jacuzzi, let's say larger bathroom space or larger bathroom products? Do you see this kind of demand that has suddenly increased, and how do you want to leverage that?
Okay, so we have seen a complete shift in terms of an approach post-COVID on these categories. And that's primarily been because the consumer expectation on these categories has significantly moved up. They are now expecting a lot more experience-based operation for each one of these areas, especially in the bathroom area, because you asked me this question. It's no longer just functionality. So a shower is no longer just a shower. I want to be able to have a steam room in my bathroom, right? A basin is no longer just a basin. I want to be able to interact with it. I want steam coming out of that basin and give me steam therapy today. Even if I'm talking about a toilet, I'm expecting an intelligent toilet which does a lot more than what toilets used to do earlier on. So we are seeing an expansion of what the consumer experiences and frankly the consumer expectation is. This is exactly what the builders are also seeing, and that's the reason why you are seeing a big shift in terms of how these spaces are being allocated.
Okay, if I divide this into two categories, one is where home buyers are constructing their own house, so independent houses, and then there are the builder category where they mass produce a project. Do you see this equal amount of demand for such luxury products or spacious bathroom and bathroom amenities from the independent houses, or do you see that major demand is coming from the builders who are developing this luxury project?
Right. So we are seeing this across. I think what we are noticing is that from a consumer trend point of view, when independent houses are being built, it's almost like a sense of pride. I mean, think about it today when somebody built out a house. It's very interesting to note. No other part of your house actually tells you how much love, care, and investment you've made behind constructing that house. It is actually your bathroom and your kitchen, which has products which tell people coming into your house what you've actually invested behind this particular living space of yours. And that's why even independent houses that are being built out, people are building it out with a lot more sense of pride and hence allocating very large spaces for the categories that we operate in.
So you see more demand for the independent houses, or do you see more demand for projects, residential?
We are seeing an equal amount of demand coming in from projects and independent houses, especially because even projects today are catering to consumers who are expecting the best quality. And the moment you're talking about best quality, you need a particular type of product as well as a brand that is going to help you to be able to deliver that and deliver that over the years. There is also this entire concept of I have made an investment once into my house and it is something that I can't keep on changing over and over again. So I have to go in with the best quality product. This is the other piece that has become very clear to consumers and to developers also who are kind of launching it ahead to make sure that the experience is maintained right through when people are living in their spaces.
Okay, if I divide the region, India into 4 regions, east, west, north, south, which region do you see the most demand into? Which region you are strong, which strongly present, and which region that you want to expand into?
Okay, so currently if I look at it from a category point of view, for Kohler itself and Kohler products, north as well as west are 2 regions which are very strong for us currently, and they are delivering fantastic growth. But we are very bullish about south as a region coming up. So into 2024 and beyond, we feel that there is going to be a lot more development that is going to come in cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai. And this is why we are extremely bullish about south as a zone to kind of move much faster than the industry as well as within the Kohler India universe, so to say.
Okay, what are your expansion plans? Because you mentioned about expansion into South India. What are your expansion plans for this financial year and next financial year?
So from an expansion point of view, I look at it in 2 ways. One is our expansion across product categories. So we have some phenomenal new products that are coming up. We've just launched the world's most intelligent toilet in India Design Week this week, which is called Numi 2.0. For us, building out the portfolio and expansion on portfolio is an important one. Between bath, which is our strong category, and kitchen, we are also seeing a lot more entry coming into the kitchen. So we've just launched a kitchen sink product, which is one of the best that you can find in the market today. So we are seeing a product or a portfolio expansion. The second piece that we are seeing is a footprint expansion. So this year also we will be opening up about 120 retail outlets, both exclusive as well as multi-brand, and partner with our dealers across India. What we will also be doing is that apart from the Kohler experience centers that we have across 3 main cities in India, we are going to be also opening up smaller Kohler studios. We will be opening up soon in Chennai, Hyderabad and Pune. And so we will see a lot more retail expansion also coming up in terms of consumers being able to access our product.
How many outlets you have currently, and how many experience centers you have, and where are they?
So our experience centers, we have 3 experience centers, one in Delhi, one in Bombay, and the most recent one is in Bangalore, which we opened up just last year. And then our Kohler studios are going to be across a few more cities like Chennai, like Hyderabad, like Pune. In terms of the retail outlets, we are present in more than 700 retail outlets. And this is something that we are expanding every single year. This is one piece that we've seen major success with. Our dealer partners have really helped us to build our brand. They carry the same quality mark that is something that we attach to our Kohler brand and help us to be available for our consumers in each of the cities that we operate.
The experience center and studios is something that is new so it has been happening for a few years, but it's something that is new coming up in India.
That's right.
And most of the companies which are in this particular segment are going for this.
Yes.
Why do you think that this sudden need for experience center? What is it that you gain from it as a company,
Right.
and what are you looking at as an industry? Why this kind of change is happening?
Right. So the important piece in this industry, and when we started our first experience center, we realized that when consumers actually come into that experience center and are able to physically see and experience the product, then their ability to be able to picture their homes is much, much sharper. Their investment behind it goes up. Their interaction and the questions that they want to ask move up, right? And so we are able to actually explain the category and the experiences, the interaction a lot better. This is something which has become an important driver of this entire category. And it's something which is great because now most of the companies are opening up some experience center or the other, where consumers who are coming in with their stakeholders. So we see a lot of great architects and designers walk in with their consumers because they can actually show the product and help them to picturize how that space is going to look like. So we've seen a fantastic response across the entire ecosystem with these experience centers. And I think the overall industry is going to move in this direction to make sure that consumer is absolutely clear that the product that they are putting into their home is going to be of a certain quality.
This experience centers that you talked about, because you mentioned that consumer want to experience how these products will look at their home. Do you think that AR, VR technology or other technologies can be built in within this experience center?
Yeah.
Are you looking at this kind of technologies to be used within their experience center, or either otherwise also within the company, so that the consumer can actually see how their homes can look into their 3D models or other things? Is there any kind of technology that you're leveraging for this?
So we have some good, strong plans to move in this direction. It's a great space that is opening up right now. But I think the touch and feel of actually seeing a product in action at an experience center is, you have to experience it to believe it. I think the only piece that AR, VR will do is augment or help that particular or support that particular experience. So we will surely be investing in technology to be able to further enrich that entire experience.
Okay, are you also looking at leveraging technology within your manufacturing facility? What is happening is most of the companies which they used to either import the products or they used to get it from China or other companies which were cheaper. So there are two complete different range. Most of the premium products were coming from Europe and others were coming from China.
Right.
But the technology, whatever was being used, was used by them. Now that the Make in India has come in, and most of the companies, while they had few manufacturing facilities, but now they are more inclined towards manufacturing within India. Do you see this kind of technology being used within the facility to improve the production, to cater to the demand, or to improve the kind of quality that may match the kind of quality that European manufacturing facilities were providing?
Yeah. So I think with a sense of pride, I can tell you that like some of the other industries that I've seen, our manufacturing facility in India is world class. And so it's not just that we manufacture for India, but there are places that we also manufacture for, based out of India. And that's a sense of pride, because for the Make in India agenda, this is one investment which is very, very solid from our side. I think the other piece where Kohler is concerned, and specifically Kohler India, India is a very important market for Kohler Global. And so there's a lot of investment that is going in for an end-to-end portfolio to be made for India. And this to me is something which I feel very strongly about. Right from the design studio, we have a design studio here in India, which is actually designing and then manufacturing these products, the top-end products that we are currently launching with. You take some of the latest products that have come out, all of these have been designed in India by our design lab here. In fact, we've won 8 globally renowned design awards for the designs that have been created in India. We are playing a lot with color. We are playing a lot with driving an Indian portfolio for the consumers. And then this goes through our manufacturing facility, which is world class. Today, I think the product that is coming out of our manufacturing plant in Gujarat is by far one of the best products that you can look at. Application of technology is one piece, but the plant that we have in operation is one of the best in class across all the metrics that we look at, whether it is power consumption, whether it is waste to landfill, whether it is got to do with emission control. It's a sustainable plant which we are moving towards a complete sustainability over the next coming years also. So it's an end-to-end phenomenal capability build that has happened in India. So it's a sense of pride with which we kind of present our manufacturing facilities.
Are you looking to expand your manufacturing capacity basis the demand that you are getting, or do you think that the current manufacturing facility that you have is enough to cater to demand currently, and you might be expanding a little later?
So I think from an expansion point of view, we will need to get into capacity expansion, but we are looking at it in 2 ways. Over the near term, we will be expanding our capacity about 20 to 30%, but not necessarily in terms of just expansion of lines. The manufacturing team is working very strongly in terms of ensuring that we have a much more efficient operation out of our current system, which is going to improve our throughput for the investment that we've made. And then as we move forward over the next 10 years, we have very strong plans in terms of capex investment into India to be able to expand in terms of brownfield projects.
Okay, somewhere you mentioned that you are also looking at bringing in new product categories, and
Yes.
especially into kitchen category.
Yes.
Currently, you are present in bathroom, strongly present in bathroom categories, sanitary categories. And do you see that you want to move into more categories? Do you have such plans, and are you looking at expansion into this? And would you be manufacturing this within the facility that you have, or you would be looking at something else?
So the approach that we take for this one is almost like a consumer back approach. We are hearing a lot from the consumers that they are very happy with us in the categories that we are operating in, and they are very happily buying the products as we start expanding our categories. So take the bathroom as an example. We already have other products that enhance the overall experience. We have shower doors, we have mirrors, which are currently being offered, and many other products from a bathroom point of view. Similarly, in kitchen, we always were there available with the faucets. We are now coming up with kitchen sinks, but we are getting a great response from the consumers to come up with a larger portion and expanding this particular category. So we are very actively looking at expanding our footprint within what we see as the Kohler home. I mean, for me, when I'm able to deliver a Kohler level quality in a home, I call it a Kohler home. I want to expand that particular piece to at least 1 million homes in India and go deeper within the home to say, how else can we deliver the Kohler level of quality to this particular home? So we will be looking at expanding categories.
Okay, you mentioned somewhere that when someone buys a property, it's mostly one-time investment. They are buying it for not just for themselves, even for the generations to come.
That's right.
And that is why the kind of the products that we want to bring in is have high quality. This is where we talk about age of a product.
Yes.
So especially in bathroom segment, the age, so for a building it's 60 to 70 years depending on where the building is being made, where is being constructed. But products also is somewhere where the earlier the products were of not that good quality and they had to be replaced very regularly. Now that companies are looking in the kind of produce good quality products. Do you see that the age of products are increasing?
Yeah.
And if it does, do you think that this impacts the overall segment?
Yeah. So I think we've never actually launched products with the view of saying that they will last shorter cycle. And so that has not changed, just from a philosophy point of view. But what we've seen is that from a change or a refurbishment, we see that moving anywhere between 10 to 14 years from an India context point of view. What we are doing is that we are ensuring that we are staying relevant when that cycle comes up, so that our product goes back into that particular home. The other piece that we are also looking at is this entire segment of refurbishment. And so when somebody is looking at refurbishing their space, this is one piece that actively our consumer and our experience teams are trying to look at to say, how do I enable that ongoing experience for you for the years to come? We have a very strong team that actually services these products to ensure that they last longer. So the philosophy is slightly different. We want it to last as long as possible so that you can come back again to our brand home to continue to buy more products from us. That's been the philosophy.
Do you see this refurbishment and redevelopment segment as a growing segment for you?
I think it is a growing segment. I don't think that there has been enough thought or investment that has gone into it. And one of the reasons why I feel enough investment has not gone into it, because most consumers are worried that this refurbishment, I don't know how much it's going to cost, or I don't know how long it's going to take. So till such time that they don't see a company that is very solid in the guarantee of what they're going to deliver, this segment is going to still stay small. We are now seeing a foray of some good players coming into this particular segment to say, hey, I'm going to deliver on quality and on time. So to me, that's a segment that is going to grow.
Okay, one question that always happens is, if a product's life cycle is shorter, it means it will be replaced more
soon.
And that would mean that the products will be bought more. That would mean more revenue. If the age of the product is longer, that means it will be replaced lesser and the more product demand would be lesser. What is your take on this?
So from a core philosophy point of view, I think Kohler has always made products that last. And so that will not go away. Where India is concerned, and that's one of the reasons why India market becomes that much more important, is that there is a solid growth that is coming up in new houses being built, as well as people moving up within their choices in terms of the homes that they own. And so for us, this market has a lot of runway for us to even think about anything around quality. And I think just from a philosophy point of view, it's a 150-year-old legacy. It's been built out by the Kohler family with a lot of love and care. And it started off with the concept of innovation and product which is of high quality. So I don't see us ever moving away from that path.
Okay, you are mostly present in the luxury segment. Do you see that the premium and mid-premium segment is something that you would want to go into? And do you want to go into affordable segment also, or maybe bring in some kind of products for affordable housing segment, or the luxury segment is somewhere you want to be presented?
So I think the way we will look at that is starting from what is the level of quality, that we will always deliver. And if that comes in at a segment, because India luxury and premium segments are very different definition from globally. So in the US, what we would call, let's say, a premium or a value segment would still be considered in India as a premium plus or a luxury. So I wouldn't define it as those segments, but the way we go about it is that we say that what is the best way in which I can deliver this quality? Now, if it comes at a price point that is going to make it accessible to more people, 100% that is something that we'll look at. And so that's the way we are approaching the pyramid.
Okay, you talked about sustainability goals when you talked about manufacturing facility. Do you have a sustainability goal for your whole company, not just the manufacturing facility? And if yes, what are these? And there has been a talk of sustainability in construction sector for the last few years. from the time India set a target of being net zero by 2070, and especially the construction industry was in focus, and where everyone started talking about sustainability, and even the government regulations have also come in.
Yeah.
Do you see any kind of, do you have set in any kind of sustainability goals from your company's perspective, and what is it that your view is about construction sustainability within the construction sector?
So I think the company is extremely serious about the sustainability agenda. From the past data, if I were to look at, over the last 15 years, our energy consumption as well as our waste to landfill has gone down by 50%. As we look at the next 15 years, we have set a target to have a net zero from an emission point of view, as well as a net zero waste to landfill by 2035. And so for us, this agenda is extremely important because it plays into our overall concept of ensuring that we have a better tomorrow for our consumers. So sustainability is something that has been on the agenda even before it became, so to say, woke to talk about it. But as we move forward, we are very confident that we'll be able to hit our goals that we've set.
Do you see a change in the kind of products that come when you have to meet sustainability targets?
Yeah.
The products that you have to bring in, the kind of manufacturing that is required, that has certain changes that must be made within the manufacturing facility and overall also, so that to reduce the carbon emission or to meet the net zero targets. Do you see any changes that brings in within the construction of these products while making the products? And do you think that this impacts the company or make it slow, or do you think that it's the technology has moved so fast and the companies have moved so much into this facility in this kind of segment that they don't see much of change even if they want to suddenly move to the construction sustainable products?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the advantage that we've had is that because this agenda was on the, so to say, blueprint for a much longer time, we have not seen any impact on either our capacity or our ability to deliver quality. So no impact has come because of our sustainability agenda, which is consumer meaningful, so to say, either pricing or quality, which has been the positive. Our capacity has expanded to be able to fill in the India demand. So that's also kind of taken care of. But the interesting part is that while designing the overall manufacturing process, we have also kept in mind what is the design of the product that we are coming out with. I mean, I'll give you an example. We have a product called Reach Eco, which flushes using only 3.6 liters. Most of the products that are there in the market use 6 liters. So think about the product that way. Every time I'm installing this, a family is saving 12,000 liters of water annually. That's a massive impact, even down the chain, right? So the sustainability agenda is not just left towards the manufacturing, but it goes right through the chain till the end product or the consumer that we are looking at. And today, actually, the consumer has also started rewarding companies who are thinking like this. Because especially as you start looking at the younger generation, they're asking the question. They're saying, okay, is this product sustainable or not? If it isn't, I'm not going to buy it. And so that's a good cycle that we've gotten into. But as a company, it's only been good that we've picked up this agenda a lot earlier. So we are on the right path.
Is it more that the consumer are demanding these products, or is it more that the companies or builders are pushing these kind of products? And do you see that buyers, consumers are willing to pay more, willing to pay premium for these kind of products because they also want to be more sustainable and are looking at eco-friendly products?
So my take on this one is that right now it's kind of a push and pull. I don't think that you have a wave of consumerism that has come in to say, I'm willing to pay double the amount for a sustainable product. That's the reality. Yeah. But the good part is that there are green shoots. And the best part, where India is concerned, is the younger generation who's doing this. And so if you think about it, as we move forward, this is the generation that is going to define the market. I mean, today, if there is water being wasted in my condo, my kids are talking to me about it, right? And that's a great, I see that as a great sign, because it means that they are going to move towards a place where they will be ready to pay top dollar. Or the other way around, they will make sure they're not buying a product which is not sustainable. So that's the way it's going to work. But I think it's going to take some time. So as a company, we are taking the responsibility of making sure that we are getting this message out a lot stronger with products that don't necessarily cost more. It's on us to drive that innovation and technology to be able to have this sustainability target within the pricing that the consumer is going to pay for. But they just choose us over another product which is not sustainable.
Okay. You mentioned because you mentioned of the younger generation.
Yeah.
The kind of so what used to happen before was constructing a property or buying a property was when people were at late 40s, 50s, when they were near to retirement. This is when they used to buy a property after having spent whole life in rented properties. Now that the people have more buying capacity, they have better income, they have better spending capacity.
Yeah.
So consumer who are buying properties, the age difference has changed.
Yes.
So it has come down.
Yes.
Do you see the same kind of demand coming in for the products that you are selling from a younger generation? What is young generation that you're looking at, or is it that the demand is mostly from the older generation, but the younger generation are also coming in?
Yeah, so we are seeing the younger generation also step up. Because like what you said, the disposable income has moved up. They're able to earn a lot more than what I remember I used to earn when I was that age. And so they have the ability to be able to spend. They frankly have a lot higher exposure. So they see luxury, they interact with it when they are staying in hotels, when they're traveling abroad. They see what exactly is the interaction of each of these categories are. And so they can make those decisions. So that's one of the reasons why we are seeing younger folks interact with the products a lot more. Their ability to buy has also gone up. I mean, that's the other piece that we are seeing. We are seeing our products being sold on e-commerce. Earlier on, it used to be a big chore to walk into a market and then select the products that are there. Consumers, the younger consumers are comfortable to be able to buy our products on e-commerce. So for us, that's becoming another channel that is catering to this younger generation. So we are seeing this response coming from a younger generation. We obviously have a clientele that is a little more senior. They're a little more discerning. They want a little more exclusivity. So we have a product range that goes right up till the kind of exclusivity that is needed. We have products that are numbered and marked like a limited edition, and that is also something that is there on our portfolio. But I think this entire span to the younger generation being able to buy is something which is great for the category.
When senior or older people used to buy these products, they used to look at it more from a utility perspective.
Right.
But because you mentioned that people now, younger generation, are witnessing or experiencing these products when they are going abroad or they are staying in hotel and traveling around, they now want to showcase their home or their products.
Yeah.
This is something that is completely different to mindset from what the older generation is. So it was more of a utility. Even if it's for a luxury product, it was more of a utility. And this is something more of a showcase. Do you think that this is where the majority of the demand that may come in? This is where that you might want to focus on, and this is what kind of trend you are also witnessing?
Yeah. So it's a very important point, and this is where I feel that the overall overlap between our portfolio and what the consumer need has become very strong. We call it there are three things that consumers look for today. They look at form, they look at functionality, and they look at footprint. And if all three are there in a product, then that is something that makes it even more distinct. Yes. So today, if you look at any of our Kohler products, functionally they are phenomenal. They are at the top end, right? Quality-wise, absolutely. We have phenomenal feedback from our consumers, out of chart NPS. But they are all beautiful looking products. They're designed very well, right? So they're designed in a form which you can actually proudly present. They're almost like art pieces within the bathrooms, right? And this is one piece that is appealing to this generation, like what you're talking about. It's not just a question of show. It's that I am investing in quality, which has great functionality. And by the way, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So that's the mix that comes up. And the moment we start kind of dialing up the concept of footprint, whether it's manufacturing or output in terms of product, this triad is going to help make our product overlap very strongly with this consumer trend you're talking about.
Right. Okay. Last two questions, Mr. Oak. One is I mentioned this at the very beginning. Demand for luxury projects that has come up, and even the supply is increasing. But the thing is that it will take 5 years or 6 years for these projects to come up.
Yeah.
Do you see that this kind of demand continue to continue to be there for 5 to 6 years? And how does this impact the sanitary ware segment?
Right.
And do you see that this kind of demand will continue to have for your products, or any other trend that you are witnessing within the segment?
Okay. So we are very bullish about how this trend is going to continue, and that's behind our belief about where India is heading. And so across the categories, we believe that there is still a lot of headroom that is available. Projects that are coming up right now, especially in the premium and luxury, and will continue to come in. You're absolutely right. The projects that are being launched right now are over the next 5 years. They'll get delivered over the next 5 years. But we still believe that this is a trend that will continue. If you look at any of the indicators where India is concerned, it builds confidence of the global company to say that India is probably the market that we should be investing in. We are the fastest growing market across the globe. And we are growing even faster than what industry is growing, at twice the pace of what industry is growing. So we are extremely bullish about this trend continuing.
Okay, about the manufacturing, is it that most of the products or all of the products are being manufactured in India?
Yeah.
Are you looking at importing any of the? Are you importing any of the products? And also, are you looking at exporting any of those products? Are you exporting to other countries? And if it does happen, if you are exporting to, how do you maintain the kind of standard that you? How do you maintain that?
So I think from a portfolio point of view, we do have a mix of portfolio that we import as well as what we make in India. As we move forward, our Make in India agenda is going to move up significantly. So a larger percentage of our portfolio of what we sell here and a larger percentage of our volume that we sell in India is going to be manufactured in India. So that's a very clearly called out strategy for us. That's where the investment is going in, and we have a very strong plan over the coming years to expand our capacity to be able to provide for the Indian demand. Apart from this, the manufacturing locations that we have, we don't look at it as just an Indian manufacturing location. And that's the brilliant part of it, because then we can look at making in India and supplying to all the countries where the standards are called out. In India, the standards might not be called out in that particular way, but our own internal Kohler standards are something that we manufacture for the globe. We don't have a separate standard, so to say, for India versus what is going to Europe. That's one of the reasons why the consumers love us, because they can see that quality difference coming up. And which is behind the entire concept to say, this is global manufacturing, this is global quality. Every country that Kohler is present in, we want to be present with these standards. So that's something which helps us to be able to not just make for India, but also make for other parts of the globe.
Okay. In the last 1 or 2 years, what has happened is cost of raw materials has increased, and this is across industries and has impacted all the segments, not just real estate or construction, even the other in the industries as well. And it has been because of supply chain crisis, because of China and other factors as well. How does this impacted you as a company? How does this impacted the industry, the sanitary ware industry? How do you tackle this kind of increase in cost? And what is your take on the rise in raw material costs? Why do you think this is happening?
Yeah. So I think the rise in raw material cost has been a reality for most of the industries, right? For various reasons. It might just be because of the demand supply gap. In some cases, it has been just because of the supply routes being clogged up. In some cases, there has been just because in countries that were supplying were off the supply chart. And so the reasons have been different, but they've been across the industry. Even our industry has got impacted because of that. I think the approach that we've taken for that is to double down on what are the manufacturing efficiencies that can be driven. It actually went back to the core of saying, what are the wastages that are available? That are happening in our plants. What is the technology that is going to help us to be able to make this manufacturing process a lot more tighter? This has been the area and the rigid focus that the company has drawn, which has been able to keep us still in the play, despite a lot of the raw material costs moving up. Moving forward, it's going to be a little choppy, I would say. I hope, and I don't think that raw material increases are going to be at the levels that we saw over the last couple of years. I think some of the raw materials across industries are already cooling down.
And so I wouldn't say that I have a very bearish view on this one, but it will remain to be seen, because I think there is a lot happening around the world right now. So making a pitch on this one is very difficult to do.
Do you think that the price of your products might increase in going future, in going forward, or do you think that it would remain same, and depending on the category that you are in present in, the prices will be offered, or do you think that there will be any kind of impact on the price?
So I don't think that we are going to see any major price escalations coming up. In fact, in some of the products, we are trying to make sure that we have a lot larger accessibility of our product. And wherever we are able to, we are folding in the efficiencies on our manufacturing side to be able to still keep the consumer side of the pricing whole without needing to impact that. And that's going to be our going philosophy for the coming years also. So there will be some places where the pricing will move up, but in majority part of our portfolio, we're going to try and make our portfolio accessible and not out of reach for our consumers.
Thank you, Mr. Oak, for sharing your views and vision for the company and the industry. Thank you, everyone, and keep watching ETRealty.